Hi everyone, it's George from Fermented Kitchen, and this is version 3 of our popular sourdough sandwich loaf. We've been improving this recipe over the past year, and I think that we're close to perfecting it. This should give you nice, consistent results with nice and fluffy, soft crumb, perfect for sandwiches. All right, let's get started. "310 grams of lukewarm water, 300 grams of bread flour, 200 grams of plain flour. We're going to use 50 grams of active starter, 10 grams of salt, and 10 grams of rapeseed oil. We're going to need a bread tin like this one. This one's my favorite. It measures 20.5 on 11 on 11 centimeters. I fed the starter last night. It was at this level. As you can see, it essentially doubled. There's lots of bubbles. And as you can see, it passes the float test because it's nice and active and bubbly. It floats to the top. That means the starter is ready to go. Make sure that no dry bits remain. We will add the oil after the first stretch and fold. It's because if we add it now, oil will get in the way of gluten development. I highly recommend using a multi-timer app like this one to track the bulk rise and stretch and fold. So I'm going to start 3 timers for 3 stretch and folds 30 minutes apart, and I'm also going to set 3 timers 6 hours, 7 hours and 8 hours from now. So I'm going to check up on the bulk rise from 6 hours onwards and just see how we get on, because the bulk rise will vary greatly depending on things like temperature in the room, activity level of the starter, and so on. Because it's winter in UK and this temperature may drop, I think 6 to 8 hours is going to be okay for me. But if you're in a very hot country, this could be 3 hours, 4 hours. So really, you have to play by ear. Do the first stretch and fold. We're going to add the oil and then stretch and fold. It's been 6 hours. You can see it's about 17 degrees. You can see that there's some bubbles and fermentations, looking good, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it for another hour. 7.5 hours total later. You can see that it has fermented and I think it looks good. We can move on to the next step. As you can see, it's about 17 degrees, which is quite cold. You can speed this process up by leaving the dough in a warm place, like next to a radiator. So for this stage, we'll be using no flour. We're just gonna use water. So wet the surface and also wet your bench scraper. Just gonna make it into a bowl. Just be gentle. So yeah, just make it into a bowl and just leave it aside. We'll come back to it in 30 minutes. Meanwhile, let's prepare our tin because we want to make it non-stick. So after you've oiled it, we're just going to use some wholemeal flour, but you can use any flour, to gently sprinkle it. Now for the final shaping, we're going to use some bread flour. Going to make it into a square. And now into a diamond, folding these ends in. Now grab the opposite ends, fold it in, twist, fold this in, and then fold that in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half along here. Cover it, and we're going to prove it on the countertop between 1 and 5 hours. It really depends on the temperature, but we're going to check back on it in about 3 hours and see how we get on. It's been about 4 hours and I think it is ready. It's about 3 centimeters from the edge, and as you can see, it has expanded substantially. It's ready to go in the fridge. It's about 4 to 5 degrees. We're going to cover it with foil so it doesn't form the crust too soon and we get a nice big rise. 10 minutes. Turn it down to 200 and 10 minutes. Turn it back up and 25 minutes or until it's nice and golden brown. Keep an eye on it.